All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders that GMS to rule well. Peace and blessings to the Akim that's out there fighting doing this work with truth and sincerity. Back here again with another lesson. And Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect men out there that are listening and watching these videos. Just a quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shema Bashai, Lord, and it's just edifying. I was with Apostle Ricard here, and we was watching some. He was watching some like different Western movies, and I happened to sit down beside him and just going over this one called, what is it? Outlaws of Josie Lane or something like that. If that's the name of it. Hold on one second. Yeah, Josie Wells, Outlaws of Josie Wells. I have never seen it, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a good watch, Lord willing, when I watch it, you know. And there's a particular scene right here I have before you. Again, this is fair use. This is for educational purposes only. So I thought this scene was intriguing, and then it brought me to Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1 on the things that he said. And when you know anything about Andrew Jackson, came up in something called the Indian Removal Act, was signed into law by the president, Andrew Jackson, on May 28, 1830, right? So in this clip, I was like, wow, the Spirit had me to think about that. You know, they wrote all these treaties for Gad and Reuben, for our people, for them to go back and break over 300 and some odd treaties that they told them, right? And right here, it says, I had some pulled up. I'm on my laptop right now. It says, of nearly 300 of the nearly 370 treaties negotiated between the U.S. and tribal leaders, Stacker has compiled a list of 15 broken treaties between 1777 and 1868. So there was like over 300 some treaties, where it says right here, nearly 400 treaties were signed into Indian tribes in the U.S. until 1871, when the Congress passed a law, 25 U.S.C. 71, that prohibit the federal government from entering into additional treaties with the Indians. But then they go behind their backs, our native people back, the Israelites, and broke over 400 treaties with them. In this clip, when I seen it, it was like, wow. So Isaiah 10 and 1, it goes into that. Like, you can't, like, we here to tell you, beginning with the apostles and the elders and the men on down, that you can't trust this devil. You can't trust anything he says, man. And all his deception is in his paperwork, his documents, contractual things. You see? You can't go in believing and trusting what he's saying, man. Because he would therefore come up and twist your words and come up with something else. Before you know it, he have you selling your home or anything without you even knowing, but you thinking the whole time using good agreements with this devil. So right here, Isaiah 10 and 1, it says, woe means destruction. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they prescribe. When you prescribe something, you writing, you ascribe, right? So they write things, right, that's grievous unto you, because they get you caught up in contractual jargon, right? And they'll go on their own word, come up with something else to break that, to somewhat solidify the reason why they breaking these treaties, man. And we telling you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans not to trust this devil. And we're here to wake you up through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. You see, that's a great awakening is happening. The elect of the Lord's people, the true people, the real biblical Israelites that the Bible speaks of, that they're going to be scattered throughout the four corners of this planet. And the word, which is Yahweh Shai, which is the Lord, who comes in the volume of the book, was going to gather, like a chicken gather his hens, or like a chicken gather the hens. The Lord is gathering his elect from around the world because they have been scattered. We have been scattered throughout the four corners of this planet. And now all this thing is going out. Brother Yashwamba, Eddie Yashwamba, beautiful video going into the history of Arthur Balfour, man. Balfour. Excellent, beautiful understanding of what are we approaching today with the things that's happening in the Middle East. So this man would come up with treaties and so on and so forth with different contracts with this jargon to throw you off to then turn around and stab you in the back, man. So it says, woe means destruction unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. Now I looked this up in the GNT. I'm gonna read this and I'm gonna go down to turn aside the needy from judgment. We are the needy, you see, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, you see, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. Now, I put the whole thing, GNT, in verse 1 right here. I'm going to read down to 4. This is Isaiah 10:1 in the GNT. It said, you are doomed. You make unjust laws that oppress my people. And that's what he do. He make everything unjust to put more constraints, to put more oppression upon you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And that's verse 2. That is how you keep the poor from having the rights, their rights, and from getting justice. This is how you take the property that belongs to widows and orphans. That's talking about us, man. He would come and take your land, man. All because he, with the stroke of a pen on some paper, with his jargon, can come and take whatever it is from you, not even being considerate of the poor and the widow of our people, man. But yet he want to keep oppressing and keep adding, you know, oppression and oppression upon our people to the point you get mad, man. So I'm going to go back over here. It said, that's verse 2. That's why I say, that is how you keep the poor from having their rights and from getting justice. This is how you take the property that belongs to widows and orphans. Verse 3. What will you do when the Most High punishes you? What will you do when he brings disaster on you from a distant country? Where will you run to find help? Where will you hide your wealth? You will be killed in battle or dragged off as prisoners. The scriptures speak about binding their kings and fetters and irons and chains, man. In chains. That's in the book of Psalms. But see, everything that has happened to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, when you go to the book of Deuteronomy, what, 30:7, I think. Let me see something. Let me get it over here. Is it Deuteronomy? Yeah, I'm going to make sure this is okay, the King James Version. This is Deuteronomy 30:7. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And that's what's going to happen to all the heathens, and especially the top heathen, man. The top banking families, man. Edom, Esau, that whole nation. So all these curses that were put upon us because of disobedience from our power, Yahweh and the Son Yahushua, all these things go turn around to be put upon you. That's why it says right here, hold on, in verse 4, it says, without me, they shall bow down under the prisoners, and they shall fall under the slain. For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. You see? And that's when I came over here in the GNT. Hit the note. In the verse 4 down here says, you will be killed in battle or dragged off as prisoners. Yet even so the Lord's anger will not be ended. His hand will be still stretched out to punish you, man. Because all the things you did, you raped, robbed, and murdered and pillaged the Israelites for everything, man. You got the Gatling gun to just mow down our people, man, at the end of the day. You see? And you got to pay for that. So your unrighteous decrees that you prescribe, and when it's morning you practice it, you put this into law to what? Take the needy from the poor of the Lord's people, man. To turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. That's what you're doing. You're robbing us, man, with your paperwork. You're cunning and you slick and you slide with it, man. You see? And what will you do in the day of visitation and in desolation, which shall come from far? To whom will ye flee for help? And where will you leave your glory, your wealth, your status? Where you gonna leave it to when the Lord go start visiting you? So all these things that has happened upon us, Deuteronomy 37 says, and the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies. All these curses are coming upon you. That's why the skirt is being lifted up and everything is coming out now. For what you did to our people, man, you just straight up literally just deleted our people, man. You see? Straight up just deleted them. But it's fine. That's why now the word is coming out and the Lord is turning that spectrum around upon you and waking up his people, the elect of the nation of Israel, because 2/3 of his own people, of these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're not going to wake up. You see? And that's what's take place. I'm going to play this clip and I'm going to end it.
Some said you'd be headed this way. And they said a man could get rich on reward money if he could kill you.
Seems like he was looking to gain some money here.
Actually, I was looking to gain an edge. I thought you might be someone who would sneak up behind me with a gun.
Where'd you ever get an idea like that?
He said sneak up. Because they conniving, they slick, they sly, man. You see, these Edomites.
Besides, it ain't supposed to be easy.
Like how people say he speak with a forked tongue, you know?
To sneak up behind an Indian.
I'm an Indian, all right. But here in the nation, they call us the civilized tribe. They call us civilized because we're easy to sneak up on. White men have been sneaking up on us for years.
You see?
Cherokee, huh?
Yeah. They sneaked up on us and they told us we wouldn't be happy here. They said we would be happier in the nations. So they took away our land and sent us here.
There you go. They took away their land, man, and oppressed the poor, the Lord's people, who are the Israelites. And you got to pay for that, man. So you made the treaties with our people, with our brothers and sisters, the Indian Removal Act of 1830, just to turn around and break, if not all of them, well over majority of them. You see? It's crazy, man.
I have a fine woman.
Yeah, I was listening.
And 2 sons. But they all died on the Trail of Tears.
Made us walk in the cold. No shoes. Hardly anything to wrap up. No, a lot of our people died along the Trail of Tears, man. You see? And you got to pay for that. I'm letting them say that again.
I have a fine woman and 2 sons, but they all died on the Trail of Tears.
Trail of Tears, man. Had been walking. I threw it from Florida all the way up through Tennessee or something to that nature. You see, in the cold, no coat, you just forced them out of there so quick. They didn't have anything. And that was 1830, man. You see, around the time of the Indian Removal Act. That's what it was, man. On March 28, 1830, Congress passed an Indian Removal Act beginning to forced relocation of thousands of Native Americans, which are Israelites, in what became known as the Trail of Tears. Not all, and they just walking in the cold and snow, kids and older women walking that far, man. And you think you're not gonna get dealt with when the Lord go come to bring vengeance upon the enemies of the Lord's people and the enemies of the Lord as well? That's why the Lord is tired and got his men out on the highways and byways telling you these things, man. Over 6,000, that's what they reported. It could definitely be more than that. Talking about the Trail of Tears was an ethnic cleansing and forced displacement of approximately over 60,000 people. You see? Ethnic cleansings. That's what you call. Man, watch the LDS one video, man. He said the same thing in this video. They call it ethnic cleansing. This is what the devil does, man. You see? But that's okay. The Lord is waking up his people, and his people are returning back into him, man. So that was a quick lesson. Again, I was with Pastor Ricard, and he was watching this. I sit down beside him to watch it. And this part, he told me to watch the whole movie. Lord willing, I'm going to watch it. And this part, what stood out to me through the Spirit, it made me bring out Isaiah 10:1. And Lord willing, I hope it's edifying. Until the next time, I shall say, Shalom.